Of the Breckinridge County Board of Education. We will call us to order and recognize guests. We do have a few people in attendance today that haven't been able to be here in the last few meetings that we've had. Board members, 4 of us are here. Mr. Biggs is not here. He is out of town today, had previous engagement. We'll move on. You mean our whole one person can't watch?
My wife's supposed to be watching.
Okay.
She hadn't taken
All right.
me because of the problem.
Do we want to start over, Dale?
Yes, because it was, it still got brick there, just, okay, now we're good.
Start over?
Yes.
Okay, this is a special called meeting of the Breckinridge County Board of Education. We'll go ahead and call this to order. There are some guests in attendance who haven't been able to be here for the last few months. Roll call, there are 4 board members here. Mark Biggs is not in attendance. He had a previous engagement. Under routine consent actions, approve the minutes of the special called meeting June 10th, 2020. Approve the minutes of the June 30th, 2020 meeting. Approve the treasurer's orders. Approve payment of bills. Approve to apply for the Fuel at Play 60 grant. Approve to apply for the California Casualty grant. Approve the yearly contract for Bluegrass Lumber. And declare the district vehicles as surplus and approve disposal according to KRS regulations.
Move to approve.
Joy makes the motion.
Second.
And Rick seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor? We'll move on to student presentation and recognitions.
All right, we have several recognitions tonight. I'd like to congratulate our Breckinridge County Trap Shoot team for placing 3rd with a score of 965 at the 2020 AIM Championship Shoot. BCHS student Ryan Chris shot his first perfect score of 200 and came in 2nd in a 4-man shoot-off. And our Breckinridge County team also competed in the Kentucky High School Shoot on July 4th and won it. So they are the state champions in the state of Kentucky. So we're very excited for the entire Breckinridge County Trap Shoot team. Congratulations to BCMS 6th grade student Jacob Spitzer for earning 5th place out of 2,041 elementary school boys in the 2020 Kentucky State Virtual Archery Tournament. Jacob has been an active member of the IES archery team for several years. We would like to recognize BCMS teacher Caitlin Jennings for serving as a member of the steering committee that revised the National American Choral Directors Association ACDA Middle School Junior High Standards for Choral Music Education document this past school year. The revised standards are to be released in the August edition of the Choral Journal. Mrs. Jennings is named along with Breckinridge County Middle School in this internationally circulated professional magazine. And that concludes recognitions.
That's awesome, thank you. Item 4, discussion and action items. Under item A, instruction and curriculum, the Head Start report. We have Jared Brockman.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Jared.
Hey, Jared.
Our enrollment for this next year continues to look good. Applications continue to roll in. Teachers have been busy with professional development in the last month. We're excited to announce that we're hosting our first ever Head Start summer camp for incoming kindergartners, and that'll be held the last 2 weeks of July. And Head Start has fully funded new playgrounds for Ben Johnson and Custer, and shade structures for HES and Irvington. So very excited about that. So some more projects to look forward to.
Great.
Any questions?
That's good. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item 2, the district transition readiness report. That'll be Mr. John Miller.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here this evening. One of my favorite things as a principal, when I was a principal, is to do these reports, believe it or not. I like getting up and talking in front of people and reporting all the great things happening. So I'm glad I get to continue to do that in this new position. So what I wanted to do is just kind of take a look back at what we did this past year and then look forward at where we're going next. So first of all, I created a transition readiness website. It's kind of a one-stop shop for all things transition readiness, CTE. It has all of our college and career pathways on there. It's really, and it's linked to the district website, so parents, if they're interested, can get on there, and it takes them to all things transition readiness. So I'm proud of that. Probably the thing I'm most proud about is the addition of 10 new pathways. And just to give you an example of what that means, I just went through earlier this week and looked at how many enrollees we have in brand new pathways. So for Intro to Aerospace, we have 18 kids that are going into our aviation program, 9 in engineering, computer programming 12, the financial services, that Tiger Bank 20, ROTC 58, a new agriculture is Ag Power 31, Allied Health is new, that's 9, and industrial maintenance 22. That's a total of, if my math is correct, it may not be, 179 students in newly created pathways. So what that says is there's 179 kids who get a new opportunity to do something they didn't get to do last year. And so I'm excited about that, and I only see that going farther and farther as people start hearing about JROTC and hearing about the aviation program and hearing about industrial maintenance, and word starts spreading. Those numbers are just going to continue to increase. Not only that, I also want to look for ways, creative ways to make even additional pathways. We were able to add 10 new pathways, and I think we only hired 2 new employees. So just getting creative and scheduling and that type of thing. I was looking back at my calendar, and thank goodness, the first 2 weeks of March, we met with every student, 8th through 11th grade, individually to go over their schedule and ensure that they were in a pathway. Thank goodness we did that the first 2 weeks of March. Because if we hadn't, I don't know, it would have been interesting to get everybody on those pathways. The flight simulators, funny enough, were supposed to be delivered on March the 17th. So they have not been delivered. I've talked to the guy who's going to be bringing and installing those, and we're just holding off. We don't have to have those right away anyway, so we're good there. But it's really exciting, and I hope that my next board report will be all things aeronautics and aviation programs with pictures, and maybe even some students come and tell us about their experiences with it. So we'll just see how that goes. We did have a transition readiness student and parent night, or a meeting for all 8th graders to just kind of review all of our pathways. We visited the middle school in St. Romuald and talked to every 8th grader about the pathways we offer. We created posters that we hang in the commons area with all 24 of our pathways. And then I was able to build partnerships with other CTE coordinators and staff in our area. 2019 and 20 was a big time learning year for me, and I continue to learn each and every day. It's unlike anything I've ever done, but I'm really excited about the work, and so continue to learn more about it. So we've done a lot, but so what's next? 2021 and beyond. Continue to update the website with the latest information. What I like to do is, after each 9 weeks, get in and look at every single kid who's in a pathway and make sure they're passing their classes. So tracking student progress along those pathways, because they not only have to take the classes, they got to pass them before they can be college or career ready. I'm excited about our teaching and learning pathway this year. We're going to have 9 of our students to go out into our schools and do some work-based learning. Going to continue to try to increase the number of students we have in those programs. What I think now we're ready for is to expand this program to the middle school. So through their college and career classes at the middle school, start planning intentional visits for those classes to come to the high school. Make sure COVID's not an issue, but when we can safely do so, to show them what industrial maintenance class looks like, what flight and aeronautics looks like, so that they have a very good idea from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, kind of get those brains thinking of what they want to do. So that's going to be exciting. With COVID-19 and the virtual learning option, I've been researching this program called ICEV, and it is virtual classes for all CTE programs. I'm going to schedule a meeting with the regional representative for next week to kind of give me a tour of what all he has to offer. It's fairly affordable. I think it's like $10 per class per kid, and we had some money from our Perkins funds. They canceled the CTE conference, so that we have some funds that we need to spend, so that may be a good utilization for that. If a kid wants to do virtual learning from home but still wants to do a CTE college or career or pathway, we'll have that opportunity for them. They offer all different kinds of things. I'm also going to assist, Dr. Carter has asked me to kind of be boots on the ground from the board office to assist with the transition to the district-controlled ATC. I'm right there at the high school anyway. I'll be working with, they're all pathways, so it just makes perfect sense, and I'm happy to help with that in any way I can. Also, I'll be providing regular updates at board meetings, continue to grow the number of pathways we offer, and then keep making those connections with other CTE coordinators and staff in our area and across the state. So I'm excited about it. I enjoy what I do, and that's a big part of you know, making this program work. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Thank
Everything
you very
looks
much.
fantastic.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Good.
All right, we'll move on to review and discuss the district improvement plan implementation and impact check.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Haven't been here in a while, so it's nice to be here. With the district improvement plan, if you'll remember back in the fall, we had approved that. We had 24 different activities among our 6 different goals. And even with the way our year ended, we were able to successfully fully implement 14 of those different activities, and we had 10 that we partially implemented. Of those fully implemented, we'll continue to work on those to make sure that they eventually become common practice in the district. 2 specific areas in the fully implemented ones that we want to continue to focus on and spend more time and resources in will be our profile of a Tiger graduate. This year we'll be having our 8th graders pilot defensive learning, and so we want to continue to improve that. We're going to look at that this year and see what that's going to look like, and then expand that to other grades. Then also, as Mr. Miller has already mentioned, we always want to be continuing on focusing on increasing the number of dual credit classes that we have, the co-op opportunities that we have, and any internship programs that we can get students in. And one of the biggest things that I think we are very happy to see this year is the increase of those career pathways, because I think we're now up to about 24.
24, yeah.
So our students have incredible opportunities. When you look across the state and see the offerings in other districts, we are way up there in what our children have opportunities for. Those 10 partially implemented activities, 4 of those that we've been working on consistently in the district that we want to continue with. Literacy. Today I just finished up a 12-hour training that we had offered for our staff, and the response was very positive. 2 years ago, we had done a similar training. We had an additional one today. It was done virtually yesterday and today, and the response from staff was tremendous. So I feel like they were re-energized with that, and they're looking forward to the year and using those strategies with students. Additionally, with that, we are really focusing on monitoring those students' literacy skills. You've heard about the RISE intervention program, and we're really going to be looking to that this year, along with the program that we talked about today, and helping our students get where they need to be. Additionally, we've talked about social emotional needs of students. With everything that's gone on, we'll be continuing that, but we'll also be looking at what offerings we have for our staff, because our big people need support too. So our guidance counselors are working with that strategically, and we're trying to make sure we have the best plans in place for the upcoming year. Along with our reopening plans, we have focus that we're looking at to offer our students more opportunities to move and to get some fresh air. So with everything that will be new coming in, we want to look at things in a different light and make sure we're addressing those needs of students. And then, as Mr. Miller mentioned, also, we always want to be working on those transition readiness areas. Any questions?
Sounds fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Gebling.
And we'll move on to item 4, approve the 2021 district funding assurances.
These are annual approval just to stay in compliance and enable us to request federal funds.
Move to approve. Joy makes a motion and Vanessa seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. We'll move on to item B under operations. Are they unmuted? Okay.
They should be able to hear us.
Okay. We'll hear the updates on, do you know who's going first?
Look at her.
Do we have the BCATC first?
This is the guaranteed energy zone.
Andrew, do you want to go ahead and present?
Yeah, I'd be glad to.
Okay.
Thank you, Andrew.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to share this update on the Guaranteed Energy Savings Project. We are well into construction now, and I'm excited to share our progress and some pictures from the job site with you guys. To give a brief overview before I get started, I wanted to just remind everyone some of the major scope items that we're covering in this project. So the biggest piece of work is the HVAC renovation at the high school. So full system renovation, LED lighting, everything top to bottom at the high school basically. Custer Elementary, we're replacing 18 rooftop units that are old and in need of replacement. LED lighting upgrades across the district. Solar arrays at Hardinsburg Elementary School and Irvington Elementary School. And then district-wide HVAC controls upgrade, particularly at the high school, the middle school, and Custer Elementary. Starting out with the high school, well, all 140 geothermal wells have been drilled and are now connected up into circuits, as you can see in the image on the right. The site work that we're handling for the athletic field in our project is about 85% complete. The last of the fill dirt that they're bringing in for those fields should be brought in by the end of this week, bringing from the dirt pile behind Hardinsburg Elementary. Following the completion of the geothermal work, the site work should be able to wrap up soon once this area is complete. So we are moving right along and getting ready to hand off the field to the capital project that's to follow. Continuing on with the geothermal work, you can see that we have the geothermal vault installed in the right, so that's been dug out and been set, and all of the circuits for the wells have now been hooked up to that vault. Up next, we'll be digging the trench to connect up this system to the high school. Oh, and you can see all the circuits on the left. So 140 wells in 10 different circuits, supply and return going back to this vault. And all that's being located underneath the new baseball field that will go in with the athletics project. You can see here that the trench work has begun, digging the entry location to the high school mechanical room. You can see the two pipes coming down in the middle on the right. That's where the geothermal lines will connect up to the building loop. And this trench will run along the road on the east side of the property. We're avoiding cutting concrete as much as possible. We will cross the parking lot basically at two locations, but staying in the grassy areas, avoiding the underground lines for the pole lights out there, and minimizing the cutting of the parking lot. So that will be taking place within the next week. We'll really start digging in earnest to be able to run those lines to connect to the building. Additionally, we're using this trench to lay down conduits for the electric and data services for the athletic field, as well as piping for the domestic water line out to that field. So we'll be feeding all three of those utilities through the high school to help save on account charges, and it will hide certain aspects of the electric usage in the shadow of the high school peak. So that will set you guys up for greatly reducing the charges that the sports lighting and various things like that will incur long-term during their operation. And as you can see here, equipment being installed in this ground floor mechanical room where the geothermal line's going in. So on the left, you can see those are makeup air units for the kitchen, taking a load off the HVAC system and kind of isolating it for those pieces of equipment. And then you can see 5 of the 7 new pumps have been installed and set and piped up for the building HVAC system. Last week, we performed a crane lift to bring the new HVAC equipment up to the mezzanine mechanical room above the 2nd floor of the high school. Well, we were set up in the front parking lot and brought, I believe, 17 of these heat pumps up to a landing that's located on the roof, and as you can see on the right, set up basically a trolley system to bring those in through the wall of the building. And all of those pieces of equipment have now been set up on the mezzanine mechanical room, as you'll see in this next picture. You can see these units are replacing the bulky and not very efficient air handlers that you had in this space before. So you'll have a lot more floor space up in this mezzanine and a new energy efficient system that takes advantage of the geothermal field. So you can see the equipment has been set. The major pieces of pipe have already been run along the perimeter of the mechanical room, and they will just be connecting up these individual pieces of equipment with the final runouts on the piping. Duct fabrication install is ongoing up here now that the equipment has been set and they can field verify all of the dimensions. You can see that all of the other water source heat pumps in the other mechanical rooms, such as these ones that you can see here that serve the gym, so the gyms and the kitchens and the various other areas outside the core of the building, all of those pieces of equipment have been set on their new concrete pads, and duct and piping fabrication is underway to finalize these installations. Throughout the classroom wing, the VAV boxes that you see on the left are about 75% complete on their installation. About 90% of them have been hung, and now the contractor is going through installing the duct connections and the piping runouts. Power is being hooked up to each of these units, and the controls contractor is following behind as the other disciplines finish work. And you can see on the right, new ductwork is being installed in 2 of the corridors above the 2nd floor for the new equipment, and that installation is about 90% complete. The majority of the ductwork across the high school is getting reused, however. So as part of our project, we brought in a duct cleaning service to clean up and refresh this ductwork. And you can see here, they submitted a report of their work, and some of the before and after pictures are quite dramatic for the improvement of these areas. So I think that this will help all the students enjoy clean air and help the longevity of this ductwork long term. We'll be performing similar sort of cleaning on all of the piping that's being reused following the installation of all equipment. We'll be flushing and purging all of your existing piping and setting you up on a chemical treatment program to help sustain this infrastructure long term and really set you up in a good place in the future. Moving on to Custer Elementary, all 18 rooftop units have now been set and are piped up and installed. This includes replacing 16 existing units as well as adding 2 new locations. So equipment startup has already been completed last week, and they should be operational at this point. The controls contractor has some minor work to do on some of them, but then we'll be ready to move into air balance and commissioning. There are some minor punch list items, a couple of the new installation locations, but Custer Elementary renovation is nearly complete from an HVAC perspective. One thing I wanted to highlight about that, and you can see one of the new install locations in the pre-K classroom in the left picture, is that a new control system was installed in this school. They'll be web-based that the maintenance and facility staff will be able to access remotely. But one of the other things that we did in this renovation is that we brought all of the ventilation, the outside air control up to modern code standards. This whole little classroom wing of Custer Elementary previously was not ventilated and did not receive outside air in the classrooms. So all the new equipment is equipped with the capability now to control the airflow to each room. And as you can see on the right, there's CO2 monitoring in every classroom in Custer Elementary now, and we'll be able to control the ventilation in each of these rooms and ensure that there's the best learning environment and air quality for all the students here. Even the equipment that we did not replace, there are about 8 rooftop units that were replaced in 2016. We have retrofit those to be able to have the same control for ventilation and CO2 monitoring. Also at Custer Elementary, the LED lighting install is about 90% complete. The only remaining items are just punch list items where we have not received all of our materials yet, and some exterior lighting. We've been dealing with some lighting material delays due to the effects of COVID-19, but our installers are keeping pace across the district with the in-stock equipment that we have, and they'll circle back around as soon as the material comes in stock to close out the installation here and at the other schools that they've addressed so far. Ben Jonson is an example of one of those schools. The lighting installation here is 95% complete, and the only items left to install are delayed materials that we're awaiting. Likewise, at Breckinridge County Middle School, lighting is about 90% installed. We're still waiting on the gymnasium lights to arrive, exterior lighting, and just some various punch list items. Additionally, the lighting retrofits are complete at the football field house, at the athletic building, and in the front portion of the annex building where some classes are held. And only punch list items remain at these support facilities. Additionally, at the middle school, we are refeeding power to the football field. There's currently an electric account that feeds the football lights and the field house there. And based off of the way that it's operated, there are some significant charges that the district pays just due to the peak demand of the football lights, even though the usage is very minimal. And to address that, we are refeeding power out from the middle school that will eliminate all of those demand charges. And you can see that new conduit has been run to feed electrical power out to that location, and the parking lot has already been patched and covered. Next week, your electric provider will be out to remove their meter and this utility pole that you see out here. These will be removed, and we will perform the switchover between the electrical feeds, probably middle to late next week. Moving on to Irvington, the solar array at Irvington is nearly 100% complete. All the panels have been set, the inverters are mounted, all the conduit run. The only remaining item to do here prior to contacting the utility for interconnection is the wire needs to be pulled through the conduit that's been installed already. The contractor is finishing their roof level work at Hardensburg Elementary, before they come back and pull the final wires here at Irvington. They have some equipment that they're renting in it to be able to deliver to the roof locations, and they requested that they finish out their roof level work at Hardinsburg before they knock out that final item here. So Irvington Elementary is very close to their array being active, and I'm excited to see it turned on. I think that you guys will be very happy with the quality of the install work and the performance that you'll get from it. And likewise at Hardinsburg Elementary, all of the solar panels have been set, and the contractor is now running conduit, mounting inverters, and doing some of the electrical work associated with the array. From the feedback that I'm getting, I believe that they will be, weather permitting, will be finished within a week or two at both locations. So we're very close to these items being wrapped up. So brief look ahead to the next items coming up. We're very close to closing out the athletic field site work. I believe a week or two is all that will be required for us to finish the work in that field. The trenching will take place next week between the high school and the geothermal field. And then throughout the high school, continued piping and duct fabrication and installation. And as they get pieces of equipment hooked up and ready to go. Looking at the rest of the district, commissioning and air balance at Custer Elementary will take place probably second half of next week. Solar array installation will close out in a week or two. Also getting started this week are the plumbing retrofits at Ben Johnston, Custer, and Breckinridge County Middle School. Well, Ben Johnson and Custer Elementary plumbing retrofits should be complete by the end of this week, with the middle school taking place the week after that. So that includes low flow aerators on the faucet, new toilet installed at Ben Johnston and Custer, and various efficiency upgrades like that. As I discussed previously, the football field electric power changeover will take place second part of next week. Various lighting installs will continue across the district as materials arrive, and HVAC controls work is set to begin in the middle school probably 2 weeks from now, I would expect. So that was what I had to share with the district. Does anyone have questions on current progress or any of the items that we've discussed? I'd like to also share that we've had a 100% safe job site throughout this process. We have a really good team working on this, and fully safe and on schedule at this point, on schedule and budget, which
We
can't
like
beat
those
that.
words. Right.
Yes.
All right, perfect.
Andrew, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. And for the ATC, is that who we have up next who's presenting?
Ian or John Hagan, you guys want to add anything about the ATC in the high school?
Yes, this is Ian. I'll cut in real quick on the ATC in high school from our end. I touched base with Ray J today. He's getting the final punch list to Codell to John Hagan tomorrow morning. And he said it looks like closeout will be in August, around a month from now. And that, that's going smoothly, and it's basically wrapping up. And in terms of the high school, we're bidding. The bid opening is tomorrow at 2 Central, and it looks like John Hagan, please feel free to jump in here. It looks like we're getting pretty good interest from what I see on my end. I counted about 8 or 9 GCs, or general trades rather. And I think maybe 7 or 8 electrical on this one, just when I was kind of scanning through to see who is plan holder. So I think and I've gotten a good amount of questions and interest just via phone calls and emails too. So I think we're going to have a pretty good turnout, hopefully. But we'll find out tomorrow. And, John Hagan, please feel free to add anything to that. But I believe the next meeting that we have with you guys will be to go over those bids, and that'll be a big one. But feel free to ask me any questions or any comments y'all might have. There's not a huge update from us this time.
Okay, that sounds fantastic. Thank you, Ian.
No problem.
John Hagan, anything?
No, I think you pretty well covered it. He's right. We have issued the closeout documents for the ATC project, so hopefully we'll be presenting final billings, hopefully for all the contractors next month, and close that one out. You know, the high school project, we do expect a pretty good turnout tomorrow, and I think everything should be well in line with our anticipated budget, so I expect good go tomorrow.
Great. Thank you very much. We're looking forward to that.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Talk to y'all soon.
Thank you. We'll move on to item 2, is to review the procedures for the use of metal detectors in the district schools.
Yes, this is in your package. You'll notice one change this year is we are going to have some flexibility with middle school and high school during the COVID-19 pandemic, to where the use of wanding will be periodic and random instead of every day and every child. So we're going to change those procedures up just a little bit and see how that goes. And also in the effort to make sure that we don't have crowds of students that are not able to social distance. So we're going to try some new things there, but we still will do wanding on a periodic and random basis.
That's great. We don't need an approval for that.
No.
Great. Okay, item 3 is approve the continued participation in the community eligibility provision for all the schools.
This is so that we can continue to offer free breakfast and lunch to our children in the district.
Absolutely. Joy makes a motion.
Second.
And Rick seconds. Any other discussion there? All those gladly in favor? Thank you. Item 4 is approve the sealing and paving bids.
I've submitted the bids to you for you to review, and I recommend that we do superior seal coating and stripping for both Irvington Elementary and Custer Elementary.
That'll get them all done in summertime.
Yes.
Move to approve.
Rick makes a motion. Vanessa seconds. Any other discussion there? All those in favor? That one's done. Item 5 is approve the out-of-area attendance request.
I recommend approval.
Vanessa makes a motion.
Second.
Rick seconds. Any other discussion on that one? All those in favor? We'll carry that. And then the annual review of the data security practices. And that'll be Mr. Dale Butler.
It's the same thing we do every year. We have policies and procedures in place for any data security breaches, anything notification. So I just don't think there's any action. I just have to present this to you all. And if you have any questions about it, I'll be glad to go through it in depth with you. It's page turning.
We're not had any breaches, correct?
No.
Well then,
Knock on wood.
what you're doing is working.
That's right. That's right. We'll move on down. Any BCEA, BCSD,
No, ma'am.
updates there. We'll go on to the superintendent's report.
All right. Virtual and drive-in back-to-school open house events are being planned at our schools, and we actually have our 4 elementary schools is set for August the 6th from 4 to 7, and the high school is August the 10th from 5 to 7, and I'm still waiting to get the final date for the middle school. These are going to be a mixture of drive-in and virtual, so all the schools are putting together good plans so that we can make sure that we welcome our children back to school for the 2021 school year in a good positive note while we're following CDC and Kentucky Department of Public Health guidelines during the pandemic. The Community Back to School Bash is scheduled for 3:00 p.m. at Breckinridge County Middle School on Sunday, August the 9th, 2020. Plans are being developed to ensure CDC and KDPH guidelines are followed during the event. We're excited to be a part of it and look forward to seeing many of our students and families attend. Opening day for all staff is scheduled for Monday, August the 10th, 2020, and we will be doing things a little differently than in past years due to COVID-19. Traditionally, all employees in the school district have gathered at BCHS for a breakfast together, and we kick off a new year. This year, due to the pandemic and CDC and KDPH guidelines, we're going to be doing that at each school, and we'll come back to our tradition the following year, hopefully, whenever everything has hopefully been relieved a little bit. We will have our first district-wide training day for the 2021 school year on Tuesday, August 11th. For staff only, the day will be spent putting the final touches on classrooms in our schools for the 2021 school year. In addition, we'll have some meetings and training throughout the day. And the first day of the 2020-21 school year for students will take place on Wednesday, August the 12th, 2020, and we cannot wait to see our kids.
That's right.
And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. And
Move to adjourn.
Rick makes a motion to adjourn, and Vanessa's gonna have to second today, and we're all in favor. Thank you very much.